Hey everybody, this is Brian with Bear Cards 34. Today I am going to be showing the McDonald's NFL Play-and-Win 1986 football cards. This is the 30 card promotional set from the All-Stars of the NFL. So this is the McDonald's All-Star team, and I have that set, so I'm going to just show off that set. My understanding is that back in the day, in fact, I remember getting some of these a long time ago. I never kept them. I wish I had. But these were one card that were given out per order from McDonald's. And you could tear off the bottom strip right here, and you could scratch off the foil. And there were basically prizes that you could win. And they were all food-related prizes. So you could scratch one off and win a small French fry, a McMuffin, those kind of things. And I remember back in the day as a kid playing Little League football, my mom would always stop off at McDonald's and we would get an Egg McMuffin before the games. And so for just a little while, this promotional only lasted for 4 weeks, but it was nice to be able to pick up a sports card at the same time. So these are readily available. You can still find these. A lot of them have the tabs torn off, but plenty of them still have the full card as well. So you can find these if you're interested. And I will say that when the cards came out, they made team sets, and you could get one of the cards from the team of the location near your NFL franchise. But for places like myself in Utah, where there was no NFL team, that's where that all-star team was more readily accessible. I'm really interested in possibly getting the Chicago Bears team set from that year. It includes cards like Mark Bortz, Kevin Butler, Covert, Dent, Galt, Hampton, a bunch of my old favorite Bears players. So I might try to pick that up on eBay one of these days. And in the background, if you didn't check out my last video, it was a little mail day along with a giveaway. I'm giving away, this is a Jerome Bettis Pro Set Power 93 rookie, along with some of these other cards, and 3 packs of Pro Set Power. So if you haven't already registered for that giveaway, the rule on that is that one of the things I showed off were these 4 Pro Set Cinderella story cards. And so if you want to go check that out, if you leave a comment on which Pro Set Cinderella story of those 4 was your favorite, you'll be entered to be in the giveaway for these things. So go ahead and check out that video and leave a comment with your favorite Cinderella story if you haven't already done so. And now let's go ahead and get into the video. And one last thing, one of the pickups I got recently was this Mark Super Duper from the Dolphins. I didn't notice it at the time, but the autograph there, he actually autographed it with his nickname, so it's Super Duper. I didn't notice that when I first picked it up, but really like that. I thought that was pretty cool. On Trading Card Database, these are listed alphabetically by last name. So we start off here with Marcus Allen, and I really enjoyed the look of these cards on the back. They give their statistics, but then they also have a synopsis of their career, and then also highlights from the 1985 season. Like right here, Marcus Allen was the rushing champ with 1,759 rushing yards, 11 rushing touchdowns, and he caught 67 passes for 555 yards and 3 more scores. So that was pretty impressive. That was a fantastic year for Marcus Allen there. So we start things off with Marcus Allen, one of the great durable running backs. And then we've got Joey Browner, an all-star for the Vikings. The great Deron Cherry, great defensive player. Roger Craig, who I'm hoping one of these days is going to make it into the NFL Pro Football Hall of Fame. Hall of Famer Kenny Easley, who had a great career. It was cut short from injuries, but he was very dominant. Dan Fouts, who sure could air it out. Air Coryell, just a lot of fun to watch. I kind of caught him on the tail end of his career, but he was still passing pretty well when I was a kid. Mark Gastineau, a great quarterback sack artist. And then we've got John Hanna, Hall of Famer for the Patriots. Chris Hinton, who's borderline Hall of Fame. He's known as being the player that the Colts traded John Elway away for. Elway wouldn't play for the Colts, and so there was a trade for Chris Hinton. And he was a great offensive lineman. Leroy Irvin of the Rams. The great Joe Jacoby of the Washington Redskins. This guy, Rulon Jones, is from my alma mater of Utah State. I got to meet him back in 1989. Super nice guy. Always a big fan of his. EJ Jr., linebacker for the Cardinals. Hall of Famer Howie Long, who we still see today on the NFL as a sports analyst, and his kids played in the NFL as well. All right, next up we've got Kevin Mack. He and Ernest Biner were just a great two combo back in the day. And I did want to mention, so these came out the same year as these cards right here. So these are the 86 tops. So the same year that these cards came out, including like Jerry Rice rookie, right? That kind of puts it in perspective of when these were released. And the great Dan Marino, one of if not the greatest arm all time. Just imagine what he would do in today's NFL with the rules. I think it'd be pretty crazy. So here's Jim McMahon, maybe my all-time favorite quarterback, to be honest. Also played his college ball here in Utah at BYU. So one thing I'll mention with these, it's kind of like you could chase the rainbow with these. There were 4 different versions. I believe they're all equally produced. So each week for those 4 weeks, there would be a different color on the tab. These are considered, they call it black or gray. It almost looks like a brown to me a little bit, just depending on it. But so the first week was blue, the second week was black, and then the third week, and I do have one, this is the Jim McMahon Gold. And so even the back of the cards, they have a different color down at the bottom as well. So so I have the Jim McMahon from week 2 and week 3, and then week 4 was green. Next up, we've got Hall of Famer Art Monk, one of my all-time favorite receivers. The great Jow Montana. When I was a kid, they always talked about how, I always heard a lot of Johnny Unitas being the greatest. And then as I grew up with Montana, there was a lot of talk of Montana being the greatest. Nowadays, we kind of get a lot of Tom Brady. There are a lot of great quarterbacks, though. You can make an argument for quite a few. In fact, going back even before Unitas. Joe Morris, who had a few really good years with the Giants. Then we've got Mike Munchak, great offensive lineman. And then speaking of great offensive linemen, Anthony Munoz. One of my all-time favorite tight ends, Ozzie Newsome. We've got Mike Quick, awesome wide receiver for the Eagles. I even saw him on an episode of the Goldbergs a while back. I know the Goldbergs, the characters on that show are big fans of the Eagles, and Mike Quick was on an episode of that. Gerald Riggs, who was just an awesome running back for a while with Atlanta and Washington. Just really big fan of his growing up. We got Phil Simms, had a great career. And someone who, for me, here's Lawrence Taylor. If you never got a chance to really see him play, he was absolutely dominant. I know he's had some issues off the field, but man, when he was playing, it was electric. He was scary, and he was very fun to watch. The late Mike Webster, Hall of Fame center for the Steelers, part of that legacy, that dynasty team. And another member of a great, dynasty, Randy White, who was just an awesome player as well. And then I'll finish things up with my favorite player of all time, my favorite card in this set. That would be Walter Payton. And it mentions on the back here for 85, named to the AFC NFC Pro Bowl team for the 8th time, rushed for 100 or more yards in 10 games, 1,500 yards, 9 touchdowns, led the Bears with 49 receptions for 483 yards as well. And he led all rushers in the Super Bowl 20 with 61 yards. And I know that the game plan for the Patriots was to really shut down Walter Payton, and in a sense they did. I know the big thing is that he didn't score a touchdown, but I just feel like for him to have gone through all those years with the early Chicago Bears, with his early years with the Chicago Bears when they were just a really, really struggling team, I'm just really happy that he was able to get that Super Bowl title near the end of his career. So yeah, I really enjoy this set. I think it's a fun set to have. And like I said, I might try to pick up the Chicago Bears team set as well. But this is a fun little set and definitely affordable. So if you're interested, you could definitely check those out. They are available online. Anyway, thank you very much for your time. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Feel free to like and subscribe. And I'll be back with more videos in the near future. Take care, everybody.